Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? So Chris Trapasso over at CBS Sports, been a friend of the show for a while, does a really good job, NFL draft analyst, and will be at the Combine in Indy this week. He's got a 2-round mock draft out. Now, for his 2-round mock draft, he makes several quarterback moves in the mock draft. He's got the Saints signing Derek Carr. He's got Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Jets. He's got Lamar Jackson being traded to the Commanders. Of course, Carson Wentz today was let go by Washington. Does Washington have the draft capital to make something like that? Maybe. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what the inner workings of the Commanders are. I don't care. All I know is that Lamar to the Saints is not realistic. And then Jimmy Garoppolo signing with the Raiders. So he's got those 4 quarterback dominoes falling to line up the draft, which means as they go into the draft, he's got the Indianapolis Colts trading up to the number 1 pick. The Bears have the Bears have leaked that they would be interested in moving back in the draft. So he's got the Colts moving up to number 1 and taking Anthony Richardson from Florida. Oh, why are you rolling your eyes? I could hear your eyes roll.
Because he'd be there at 5. There's no reason to trade up for Anthony Richardson.
I don't know, bro. If he's your guy, you go get him. I think Richardson is going to be a fascinating prospect to watch during this draft process because he has the most Zach Wilson potential. And what I mean is he has the most potential for a team or teams to just become enamored with the athlete, ignoring all of the flaws that you see on film and just becoming absolutely in love. Remember, I mean, the punchline about Zach Wilson is that he was taken 2nd overall because he made one throw on the run against his body, like 50 yards on a dime. Everyone, Jets, number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson against air. Send the card to the podium now. But he's got that potential. I mean, we would agree on that. He's the one guy in this draft that has that type of potential. That throughout the Combine, Pro Day, the teams that could become enamored with the athlete and overdraft him, that could happen. Okay, so Colts taking Richardson number 1, Bryce Young 2 to the Texans, Jalen Carter 3 to Arizona, Will Anderson 4 to Chicago. Of course, Chicago moving back, as it's been reported might happen. Will Levis going 5 to Carolina, trading with a mock trade with Carolina moving up to 5 to take Will Levis. That would get them their quarterback of the future. The Lions at 6 with the Rams pick, taking Devon Witherspoon. Quentin Johnson, the wide receiver at TCU, going to the Raiders because, of course, the Raiders would take a wide receiver with the 7th pick. C.J. Stroud, 8 to the Giants, with the Falcons trading back. That would be fascinating there if the Falcons moved back and if the Giants, with Danny Dimes, still took a quarterback. So you run through the first round, and I just kind of look at really where the quarterbacks are. Are there any LSU guys? And then what does he have the Saints doing? At 29... Now, keep in mind, he's got the Saints taking or signing Derek Carr. So the Saints, in theory, then wouldn't need to draft a quarterback. And at 29, at CBS Sports, Chris Trapasso has the Saints taking Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. 5'10", 172 pounds. He writes, after the Carr signing in this mock scenario, the Saints have to add weaponry to the offense. They do that with the small but sensational Flowers. That screams Brandon Cooks all over again. It would be devastating to me if the Saints went back-to-back years using a first-round pick on a wide receiver. I would not in any way endorse this move. I think that's a a horrendous decision if they would make it. You can get great value at receiver. You have Chris Olave, who's a number one. You've got good depth there as well. I'm not saying you have the star power. Jarvis Landry likely isn't going to be back. We all know Michael Thomas won't be back. So do you need receiving help? Yes. I'm not okay going back-to-back years wide receiver number one. The Saints, of course, also have the 40th overall pick, and Tre'Quan at number 40 has the Saints going defense with Antonio Johnson, the safety out of Texas A&M. I think the Saints need a lot of help defensively, but I think it's primarily in the defensive front seven. We saw the run defense plummet this year, all the way down to 22nd, after the Saints had gone like 3 years without allowing a 100-yard rusher. I don't like either of those picks. I'm okay with the Saints going in almost any direction, because when you're a team that has as many holes as the Saints have, you need to be able to draft a lot of different positions to improve your roster as a whole. But I don't think receiver or safety are the spots. Now, I could make a case at safety because Tyrann Mathieu is aging and Marcus May didn't really deliver in the manner you hoped he would, signing him after you let Marcus Williams walk. But I could look at offensive line. Andrus Peat likely isn't going to be back. You definitely need help anywhere on the defensive line. I mean, outside of Cam Jordan, they already re-signed Tano Passanio. You have Carl Granderson. What else do you have at end? Outside of an aging David Onyemata, you really don't have a great run stuffer on the interior. You could certainly use a linebacker. DeMario Davis isn't going to be around forever. There's a lot of spots where the Saints need help. But if they use the 29th and 40th picks to go receiver safety, I can't say I'd be super pumped about that. Interestingly, he does have two LSU players going, none in round one, but two going in round two. With the first pick of round two, he's got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Kayshon Boutte. Getting a big play weapon there for Kenny Pickett. And then 10 picks later, he's got the Cleveland Browns at 42, taking B.J. Ojulari. So 2 LSU Tigers early in round two. I think both those would be good spots for the respective players if they were to go that way. But the story there, of course, would be what he would have the Saints doing, and maybe most notably not going quarterback with either of their first 2 picks because they signed Derek Carr in this hypothetical, this mock scenario. I think none of us knows exactly what the Saints are going to do, but one of the most curious part of the quarterback conundrum they have this offseason is if the Saints do sign a quarterback in free agency, if it's Derek Carr, if it's Garoppolo, any of the names we talked about, if they do add a veteran, are they still willing to draft one? That's what we don't know. Or do they just remove quarterback from their draft board? We'll find out in time. But in this scenario, anyway, Chris Tre'Quan has the Saints not going quarterback, not looking quarterback because they signed Derek Carr. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.